Pounders, it is the last week to join Nick and I in Miami. Week 12, fantasy football, Dawg Bowl. We have 3 people to get into this one. I think Nick will be jumping on in just a minute. So I hope you join this draft. And first thoughts, I jumped into a draft about 25, 30 minutes ago. Wide receivers fall off so fast. Like, you can get behind at wide receiver. You'd be like, oh, damn, now we're just reaching and trying to thread the needle on 2 guys. One situation I think you can do that in is if you do go Mahomes. And I got Mahomes at 7 and sharper rooms. I think Mahomes will fall to the back end. You can kind of bank on one of your receivers being Rice, especially on a slate where wide receiver is really hurting. Like, after Rice, dude, we're talking about like Kirk, and we have Zay Jones back, so it's getting a little muddy there. Sutton against Cleveland. Downs might actually be a decent option. Some of these scroll down receivers, though, it gets very muddy very quick. Godwin should not be going this late. Drew will be so happy once he hears that. Oh, come on. Here he is. The myth, the man, the legend, hiding behind number 5, Joshua Palmer. Last drive, 5.5 points. Puts him in the winner circle.
Let's go. I need some luck. I feel like breaking out a lucky jersey for the last week of Dawg Bowls. This is what I'm putting on for tonight.
Nick the D-Gen. You've probably seen him in your room if you're not already familiar. NF42. Been grinding, but you said you're going to slow down on this slate. I'll believe it when I see it.
Trust me, you will.
Oh, shit.
There's not enough money to pump into this thing anymore. The well is drying very fast, unfortunately. So
if you guys aren't familiar with this contest, the Dawg Bowl is a $25 entry, 5,200 person tournament. The top 3 basically get paid. And it's a $10,000 ticket. You also go to Miami where you play in a live final against 35 other people. It's going to be 3 pods of 12. Fourth place is $75.
Technically less than 35 people, if you want to get technical. Because some people have 2 tickets.
Fair.
Yeah.
35 other entries, let's
Correct.
say. 35 other entries. Fourth place is $75. So it's very top heavy. The only way you're making money on this thing is if you spike a lineup into first, second, or third.
And don't finish last. The last 10 spots, as long as you don't finish the last 10.
I'm assuming they're going to do the same exact promo, which is it helps ease the pain a little bit. The top 2,000 entrants, if you do 10 or more entries, do get their money back if you finish in the top 2K. So I got like 75 or 70% of my money back last week.
That's really good.
With one lineup in 62nd with Jared Goff. If I had T-Law, I didn't do the math because I don't want to know. It's 3rd or 4th.
It's I did. I had one lineup where if I had tanked Dell, I could have been in contention, and I think I did the math, and it would have just been short. So I feel better about
that. Even with the miss with Henry, optimal tight end, optimal with Ridley, optimal with Barkley. Gross. It's a game of inches.
What place did you finish in that one?
It was like 61st with Goff.
Yeah. Okay. Mine was in 78th by time it ended.
Mm-hmm. But again, like, how many people in front of you are just like, oh yeah, if I just made this one small tweak, right? It's everyone. It's everyone. If you just make that one small tweak, basically, it's a game of inches. So instead of stacking,
Ryan Hodge posted on Twitter.
I saw.
And he had Breece Hall. He finished like 1.1 point away from passing Dave. And they took Breece Hall out at the very end of the game for the last drive there.
I saw. And it was Izzy.
And their backup ended up getting, like, I think, 2 points.
Yeah. Yeah, he had like an 11-yard rush. You don't know. You don't know if Breece is going to do that. But
yeah, but you'd like the opportunity, right?
100%. 100%. So, and you just don't know. Like, that goes to commercial break. You're like, is he in the game or not? And then it's like, it's over. Wow.
Yeah.
I've been there. I think we all have.
man, all these players probably in the top 20. If you click on them, they're all so close. Just a couple points. So like all those guys could go back and rewatch games of the players they had and be like, if this had gone right, maybe a touchdown or another pass for X amount of yards. But that's part of the game, right?
It is. It is. It's a game. It's so close. Like it's one play away sometimes, and sometimes you benefit from it, and sometimes you don't. Right.
Yeah.
That's why you're wearing the jersey tonight.
I wonder if they kind of um if they revised how Dog Bowl worked for the future, where so the three players don't get so much of the total pot, and then you can give away some money to people that don't finish first through third. They still get their
Mhm.
tickets, but
Right.
you're not getting totally crushed and making $75 if you finish in fourth. Um, and then that way, when you
It's
go to the finale, you don't get maybe $0 for the last 10
yeah.
places.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
you actually are competing for the real money
Yeah.
when you're there.
So you think it should be even more top heavy where it's like fourth place, it doesn't matter if you're making $75 or $25 back. You think it should just be $25 across the board
No, no, no. I meant the
or
actual tournaments itself. First, second, and third even make less money, but they can make more money at the finale, even if they finish in last place.
I see.
You're not getting
Yeah. Yeah.
$0. You're getting
So
something instead,
so
and
like
then
I
yeah,
see.
and then
So
the
you think
tournament
like
itself.
the initial 10K payment should be less?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I
that the
copy.
guys that finish fourth through like 100 aren't really feeling too burnt, and they're making maybe a couple $100, maybe even $1,000 to fourth place.
Yeah.
So because it's so brutal.
It would suck, and that's why I think, like, you're smart by sort of cutting back. You have your ticket. That's the most important thing is, like, you're playing for the 200K already.
Hmm.
That is the toughest thing is to get that ticket, right?
Yeah.
Um, ER7 says, "Is that a San Diego Chargers jersey?" Yes,
Oh yeah.
it's the one and only Joshua Palmer.
I had to show him some love. I had to buy his jersey. Hopefully, some of the proceeds go to him for punching my
I heard
ticket.
that his stock has gone up, yes. After that 4th quarter drive down 14 points. The most meaningless 5.5 points ever for anyone else but Nick.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
It's the best. This is the best. Fantasy football does that. But if you're just joining us on tonight's stream, I just sort of did a quick rundown of the slate, and it falls off at receiver pretty heavily, especially in a 12-person draft, and then tight ends. You basically have Kelsey. You could add McBride and Kincaid as those volume guys. Njoku might be the best value on the board if he continues just getting targets, but they're not high quality targets, right? Like how often are they driving to the red zone against Denver?
This
Probably.
slate is just disgusting. I mean, it could just be a Kelsey week, meaning every team
Yes.
in every group that drafts the Kelsey squad, maybe whatever
Yeah.
pieces they throw together with that Kelsey team,
Yeah.
that's going to be, or at least maybe the top three teams are all going to be Kelsey teams just with how these tight end groups are. Because
Right. If
when you're
he
going from
gets
Kelsey to Trey
yeah,
McBride, we're talking a tight end that can easily put up 30 points, and none of
if
these
he hits
guys
that
are like
ceiling,
big
it's
men.
over. If he hits a ceiling game, it's over if you don't have Kelsey shares. I kind
Yeah,
of
I
feel
I
the
don't
same
even think
way.
someone like Kincaid, who's been, pretty well, in terms of points. I mean, he's just putting up like 11, 13. He's not breaking
Yeah.
30. And he's the
Yeah.
most consistent one outside of Kelsey on this slate.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're 100% correct. No one has the same ceiling. So like you don't have a Kittle, you don't have other people that could at least match a ceiling that comes close to Kelsey, which is why he's the 101 this week. I think it's the clear 101 for sure. Um it, it probably looks like this for me before I go any QBs.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I got Mahomes at 7. He should be dropping because if you look at even the QBs here, we have some pretty juicy matchups. Even like Baker versus Indy, Kyler versus the Rams.
Yeah, if you're taking Mahomes or Hurts, one of those two elite guys, you really need them to hit like 40 points, like one
Hmm.
of those like Dak Prescott games that he had where he murdered everybody. I mean, you
Yeah.
have to have that in order to separate from like quarterbacks that can get you 20 points. Where you're looking at like
I'm sort of surprised Derek Carr doesn't have an ADP. Reason being, like,
he
I'm
should.
not
I drafted him.
I'm not gonna draft Taysom Hill or probably even Ritter over Derek Carr this week because if he doesn't play, right, you're just gonna pick swap him for Winston. Like, super easy, and you probably even want Winston, but you can't draft Winston because if Carr
Absolutely not.
plays, then it's a waste of an entry. But with
Yep.
pick swaps, you can set your swap to Winston. Until we get further news, he's still in concussion protocol. I'd sort of be surprised if he doesn't play, but they could take it easy with him, and we could see Winston play this week. Carr
Yeah,
has
when it
not been
comes to an
good.
injury, you have to take the starting quarterback for that reason. People like
Yeah.
Mac Jones, though, are a little trickier to figure out because he's obviously not hurt. He's going to be on the field. I just don't know
Yeah.
now that his status is in question. Like, if you draft Mac Jones because you want to be different, he may not even suit up. I mean, he will suit up, but he may not be under center.
So that's the problem. Like he has to be active, right? Like he'll be active. If he's active and gets no snaps, it counts.
Yep.
So waiting on two people for the dog bowl. If you want to join Nick and I, is this the last week?
Yeah, this is the last one.
This is the last week.
And they are still doing the promotion as far as I'm aware. So you will get your
Yeah.
money back if you do 10 drafts. And they have to qualify within the top 2,000 entries.
Hmm.
Take
Dude,
advantage
how
of
fast?
at least do 10. I mean, it's the last week, right? If don't I wouldn't fade it since it's the last one. Just do 10
Yeah,
if that's where you're at.
for sure. For sure. Definitely. I that's if you're gonna do like 3, 4, you may as well do 10 because it's kind of like getting 40% off the entry total,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's a great promotion, honestly.
It it's been awesome. It's been awesome. Um, waiting on 2 people. I'm surprised it actually doesn't fill faster on contest open. I wonder if that's just because people don't know that it's up right now, but you can
There's
see like that
also so many slates right now for people to, just dive into. I
yeah,
mean, it's crazy how many they have.
multiple turkey drafts. Even
We
the
have the
battle royale
turkeys
drop.
and we have the battle royale. I mean, there's so much volume on this site for people to be drafting. It's
Victory
great. It's awesome to
formation.
see. It's crazy
Oh,
how much or how far Underdog has come since
dude.
even last year with contests. I think I remember this time of year. It was just really just like these weird like turkey bowl drafts, like the
Yeah.
stuffings and the all that.
Yeah, 3 person drafts and shit like that.
Yeah, the cranberry sauce and was definitely there. The stuffing, but all this other stuff is great. Like all these single entry contests are really fun. They're cool.
So let's do a quick QB ranking here. Stroud over are you still Stroud over T-Law?
I would put Hertz over Mahomes. That's my preference.
Mhm.
I know
I'm
Mahomes
I'm
has
cool with
a
that.
great matchup against Las Vegas, but Hertz against the Bills, that just screams like shootout to me, where
Mhm.
he's gonna have to like be in it all game. Um,
I
and
might go
Josh,
T-Law over Stroud this week with Say Jones back.
I think I stick with Stroud just with what he's shown
Mhm.
because T Law has been a little inconsistent throughout the season.
Mhm.
He has been up and down. Stroud has pretty much been steady recently with his
I agree with that.
performances.
Are you okay with Baker and Gardner over Staffy?
Yeah, yeah. Especially, I'm off Stafford until I get more news on Cup. He's day to day. I really
100%.
he takes such a hit if Cup's not available. I think it helps Kyron Williams because he's just gonna get fed volume if he's playing.
Definitely.
But
I don't think Cup's playing, like, the way that they took him out so early into the game
I don't think he plays either.
that, like, how do you justify him playing next week?
I'm okay with not taking Cup this week and Unless he says unless they say he's good to go, then I'll pick him up. But his ADP is not moving. If anything, it's going to be moving in the opposite direction until we get clarity on that situation. So why take him where he's going?
Oh, yeah,
Just
no,
wait,
he
wait,
dropped
wait
he
until you get the news, and then maybe you'll get him in like the mid third.
that's where he dropped last draft too, that we were in. He dropped to this range.
Hmm.
So,
See, people are off Jamar Chase, right? With Joe Burrow, obviously
mhm.
makes sense why, but he's still playing. He's not hurt. He's on the field. So I don't see why people would want to take a chance on something like that, but then take a chance on someone like Cup, who
Yeah.
may not even play.
Or get hurt again during the game.
Yeah,
Tweak it, which we've seen a couple times already this year.
yeah.
No, I agree. I think Chase goes in a fair spot, and he does tend to drop as well because people are afraid about the backup QB situation. I think this game script's gonna be pretty ugly with Cincy versus Pittsburgh. I think you're gonna
Do
see
you
a
like any
lot of
pieces on the Bengals? Do you like Joe Mixon, just from a volume standpoint, and
yeah.
maybe
Yep.
they have to rely on running the ball more than passing?
I like the RBs on both of these teams.
Okay.
I like the RBs on both these teams. But again, like on a slate where the wide receivers fall off so heavily, like it gets to a point where, okay, Chase is the best on the board. Are you drafting? Let's say we get further news. Let's say it's Thursday and Derek Carr hasn't practiced yet. And we saw what Chris Olave did with Winston.
Hmm. He actually
I
was
would
better with Winston. I think
much,
he wasn't
much.
even targeted the first half until Carr was taken out, and then Winston came in, and then he made up all that volume when Winston was in the game.
Yeah, basically in a half.
Yeah,
Um,
and a half a game.
would you put Olave over Chase if we
No,
knew Winston was playing? No.
I'd be drafting Chase ahead of Olave, but I would take guys like Devonta Smith, Mike Evans, before Chase.
Yep, definitely.
Those are probably the only two I
Definitely.
move up above Chase at the moment, just because they have a better quarterback situation. But yeah, still give me Chase over Olave.
Devontae, third.
Yeah, think
Who
so.
do you have who do you have between these two? If we're making projections that
I think this
Pup
is as
isn't
close as it
playing,
gets, but I can't see why you wouldn't want to take Tank Dell, only because of how Stroud likes him, how they're utilizing him.
mhm,
Puka seems great because if Cup's not playing, I mean, he's Puka, but it's so close. I could see either or being the
right.
right selection.
I I like this. This is really a toss up. I think you probably want to be pretty even ownership on both of these guys this week.
Yeah.
Um, are you Mike Evans or Devonta Smith
If I
or
have Jalen Hurts, it's Devonta Smith.
If
If
you
I'm going
don't,
naked, one of these guys, I kind of like Evans better.
same. Then you're putting Smith next or Chase?
Oh, I'm putting. I'm sorry. I'm putting Devonta Smith over Chase for now. Yeah. Yeah.
Chase, Olave over Cup, Michael Pittman over Cup, Calvin Ridley over Cup.
Yep.
Where's it stop?
I'm literally passing on Cup. I mean, if he falls to me in the fourth round, I'll take him. But
Mhm.
until then, it's like, give me Pittman, give me Ridley, give me Olave, all those guys.
Now this is probably gonna be stack dependent, but if it is just a one off, Pittman or Ridley,
Man, I'm such a Calvin Ridley truther. So
buddy.
and of
That's
course, last week was the one week I was so light on the guy, just because the slate was so
of
huge
course.
and he was so buried. I mean, I just wasn't clicking him enough.
Oh God, ER7 goes. I sat Ridley for Chan. I don't even know if I could blame you, but the Zay Jones news coming into play, where like his stats when Zay Jones plays are just they're ridiculous. He's a different person.
Does
Um,
it? But
does
does this week go back to Ridley just getting shadowed and shut down all over the place, and then Kirk is now the
I
guy?
don't know,
Like I
man.
feel like it's been like flip flop a lot.
Zay Jones didn't get hurt. Like he's gonna be. Does he spread the field for Ridley? Like that's what I'd be curious. I'm not like a tape grinder, but I'd be
Well, they say
curious.
the
Is
stats Ridley's stats are better when Zay Jones playing.
yes, but you got to think of like the role that Zay Jones plays versus when he's in versus when he's out. He kind of spreads the field. I would assume that has a pretty major impact on Ridley
Yeah.
in his production. Now you made fun of me for my Thielen selection, but he was my first receiver off the board in my first draft when I went
Well,
Mahomes
I
at
only did
7 and
because
Barkley.
you've been so
You
anti-Thielen
have to
since
be. You
since
have to
we
be.
since we've been doing these. I mean, we've been passing on Thielen over and over again, and then when you pick him in like the third round, it just was funny to me.
Dude, I went back on last week's stream too. This is just to go back to the T-Law Ridley thing real quick. We got sniped like quite a bit when we're like, all right, we like Ridley here. All right, we like T-Law here. And other people, they were on it too. So
Hmm.
again, ceiling plays. And that's where I tend to lean is towards the ceiling plays, which isn't Adam Thielen. But when you need a receiver and you need two from this range, and I had
Right.
Mahomes, so I already had Rice circled. It's like who are your favorites between this range here?
I like Nico Collins, hoping that if he's complete leverage against Tank Dell. Tank Dell doesn't have a good
Mhm.
game. I think Nico Collins has to be the beneficiary of it.
Yeah,
Maybe Schultz, but from a receiver standpoint, it's Nico, right? Marquise
definitely,
Brown,
definitely.
I think he's interesting. I feel like he might be the Ridley in terms of like look at his stats. Everyone's scared of him, but then he has a huge game going against the
Has he
Rams. Going
has
against the
he
Rams, that could be in trouble.
has he lost a step though this year? You know what I mean? Has
Mm,
he lost a step? That's sort of what that worries me. TBJ, welcome to the live stream. Zay plays X, which allows really to move around more when he's in and not just line up on the line in the boundary. Yeah, when Zay Jones isn't playing, Ridley is running those routes that they're just not high percentage routes. So,
yeah, I mean, I think after Hopkins, the slate gets a little gross at receiver. Um,
dude, my
I mean,
guy this
I guess
week,
Kirk. I guess Kirk would be the last receiver. After Kirk, I'm kind of like,
Godwin's down here. And then for
yeah,
me, it's Rashid Shaheed, baby. No Michael Thomas this week. I might be, you're going to see sharp people get onto him,
yeah.
but I'm assuming. Otherwise, it'll just be me, and I'm completely okay with that. No Michael Thomas this week, Rashid Shaheed. Like, targets are coming and like opportunity plus, just ceiling. He's a clear play for me, especially on a slate like this where it's like it's pretty gross.
Yeah, I mean that's why last week I loved. I'm sorry, I loved Singletary because of opportunity and volume, and he smashed
Big
from
time.
SM's point of view.
2-2, we see he doesn't do anything with Cup being out. Michael Wilson missed last week and Rondell Moore stepped up, but he just end up with that one catch early in the game and that was it? The 148-yard bomb
Yeah,
early in the game, and then doesn't catch another ball, which is interesting. And then Marquise Brown didn't do anything. So where did
yeah.
Kyler got all his points on the ground? Shit, he threw for 214.
McBride, I think, had a lot of targets, didn't
No
he?
checkdowns really to Connor, which is interesting too. ER7 says, I'm up by 30 points, non PPR. He has Mahomes and Pacheco. Do I have a chance?
Yeah. See,
Yeah. Yeah.
McBride had 7 targets, 5 receptions. So a lot of his looks are still going to McBride.
You need
Or
Mahomes to get like 21 and Pacheco to get like 8. That's or like 22 and 7. It's going to be close. It's going to be close.
close. It will be close.
Waiting on one more for the Dog Bowl. This is your 4th draft?
Yep, this is my fourth.
Dude, so you were in the first room, you were in the second room, you were in the third room.
Yeah, I guess. I
That's
mean, numbers wise, does that make sense? I mean, I feel like I was off of drafting for like probably 5 or 6 hours today. Between like
well,
the first two I did.
oh my god, Spoon.
Let's
Spoon.
go.
Spoon.
Nice.
I get the
I'm,
3, which is
I'm lucky enough.
probably
I have done 4 of these, Pat, and 3 of them have been in the top 2. I cannot
yeah,
be
so
complaining.
you don't need to do volume when you get that.
Now I just got to make sure I'm not just double dipping on players with these lineups, in my opinion, and trying to, you know, spread a few of these bullets around
Yeah.
players.
This is the last week for the Dog Bowl. Welcome, Charles. Welcome, King of Kings, in the live stream. ER7 here at the 9 spot. Crash Rich.
He'll be in the next 150s of these drafts for everybody
God
else.
damn. ER7 says, I got a fork. You got to get the spoon. Big wooden spoon. Stir the pot. I'm basically praying AJ Brown comes back to me in the spot because I do think the 3 spot's probably the worst draft position in like this whole week. This guy likes Mahomes, so I could tell.
I mean, dude, I think Diggs is still in a good spot here. I think he's going up against
Yeah, no, he's the clear number 3.
One of the worst secondaries in the league. I mean, Philly is like awful. You know they're going to score points, so you know Buffalo is going to be throwing the ball. I mean,
And they give up a shit ton. They give up a shit ton of yards to the receivers.
Yeah, I don't think there's any issue with taking Diggs in the 3rd spot and feeling bad about that.
So maybe 4 is the worst spot.
I think 4. I think 4
5
is tough.
But even then, like, are you going? Yeah, I guess so. Just because the receiver's so, it's just so light this week. Like on
I don't
elite
mind taking one of
receivers.
those elite quarterbacks in those spots, like the 4 or 5 spot, just because of the drop off quarterbacks. But again, I also see it as like maybe you see it, where like I think you can get quarterbacks later on that can potentially only be 10 points behind them.
It's such a position where it's replaceable. Like you can, it's like the number 1 position is replace. Like tight end too. We've seen time and time again, like a late tight end.
So maybe you
Gets
jump
there
on
on a
guys.
flat week.
What do you do then? Do you jump guys like ETN and just try and go for a smash play?
RB is so deep that I think you can skip Taylor. I think you can skip ETN this week. Because you can get guys down here that can hit similar ceilings. Jalen Warren on 9 carries gets 22 points.
Yeah.
There's just so many people are in play down here. Kyron Williams, first game back, like this dude finds the end zone, especially if Cup's not playing. That helps him. Like you can find running back production down here where tight end falls off, so it goes Kelsey clear 101. After that, QBs, it does fall off. It does fall off. I want most of my drafts probably Kyler and up, just because of the ceiling.
Yeah.
But first round, you can't take them over these 3. I think that's where it's definitely a mistake. So we see Taylor go off at 7, Puka at 8, ETN to ER7, Tank Dell, Devontae Adams at 11. Barkley at 12.
Puka went really early. Wow.
Yeah, this is just probably a projection that Cup doesn't play, and he has a full game of being the number 1 target, number 1 receiver.
So I'm happy. I did one of my drafts, Pat. I had the last pick. I was picking 12th, 13th, and I managed to get Puka and Tank Dell. So
damn.
And then I wrapped it up with Rashad White and Josh Jacobs.
See, you probably shouldn't be able to get that combo on a slate like this where it does fall off at receiver. Now you can find spike week guys at receiver too down here, but I think it's a little tougher because just like a lot of these guys are like the 3rd favorite target on the team. Although Godwin, we spoke about earlier, goes way too late. Jacoby Myers is just crying for Jimmy to come back. We'll see what happens. If Jimmy comes back this week, like Jacoby Myers will probably be my favorite receiver. I don't think anyone down here is really in play.
Is that actually news? Is Jimmy G in question to be starting this game?
I don't think so. Not yet, at least.
Oh, okay.
Not yet. Impressive yardage total in loss. Yeah, we'll just forget about the 3 picks. Like, come on. Stop. Just don't do that. Okay, I think I have to go Al here, although I don't love it. It's Alvin for me.
I would have went Kamara as well.
It's Alvin for me. Now, it's not going to be a different combo, I don't think, just because I don't know. Do you think Diggs in any room will go at 6, like at his current ADP?
I think it's possible.
It's possible, but it would take like I don't know. It would take a room that
Okay. So I wanted Kyler. He was my next person queued up.
there's a clear drop off. Yeah, 100%.
So what I was gonna do was Kyler, and
McBride. Oh no, you already have a tight end.
I was gonna do a little mini stack with this game.
Yep.
I still like him even without Kyler Murray. And then
Yeah.
let's go back to Ridley.
Going back to the well.
I
Why
have to.
not? Why not? Fuck.
Now, do you think
On.
Williams is too early from where I'm taking him, or is it okay?
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. He's not coming back to you, right? So, I don't. Let's go Onslaught. Let's go Onslaught New Orleans. It's weird, but I don't think people are dupe this.
Are
I don't
you
think it's gonna be a combo.
Are you lagging by any chance?
I don't think so. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah,
Maybe a little bit.
I think you're a little choppy.
Let me know in the live stream. Oh yeah. Nico Collins goes next at 28, which I think is now this becomes a conversation, I think, between Cup and Thielen. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Sorry, it's
Oh, okay.
still a little like robotic.
Are you going Thielen or Cup?
I think I'm still doing guys like Thielen over Cup, man, just because I really don't believe he's playing. It's just like I feel like it's a waste of the pick, right? Like the only players you really should take chance on with questionable tags are like in the last round. If you really don't think they're playing, because you're losing so much value on swaps, right?
No, I agree.
I think to a point when Cup falls, like I don't know where it's at right now, but it would take a lot for me to want to click on him.
Interesting. Charles skips over Kincaid for Nico here, which could be just a little way to get different and sort of leverage all those Josh Allen Kincaid teams.
I think Kincaid's great, man. For this kind of slate, I mean, he's probably the most consistent tight end on the slate outside Kelsey.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I agree. Njoku, the matchup's good. The targets are good.
But again, your quarterback still isn't Deshaun Watson. You know, it's Thomas Robinson who had 7.6 total points and 165 yards. You're rolling like a pretty small dice. You know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree, but there is a drop off after Njoku too. I think we both agree
you're
there.
good by the way now. Whatever you did, whatever you figured out.
Good.
You're pirating something probably.
Yeah, no, I had to steal my neighbor's internet. We're good now. Pitts, are you drafting Pitts at all?
I don't think I am.
I don't understand this. Like, how is Darnell Washington being drafted more than like Henry, K-Dot, and Freiermuth is back, right?
Fair. That's pretty much it for down here. Uh,
Yeah, no, it is. You're right.
his
You're right.
projection doesn't even make sense. I don't know who figured that one out. It was
Point
probably like a
four.
steel. It was probably a Steeler fan came up with this.
Basically praying. Hmm, let's see. QBs. I have to sort of make. Well, I think this is just my Derek Carr team, to be honest. I already have New Orleans onslaught, and then if he doesn't play, I pick swap for Winston.
By the way, Washington didn't even lead the team in snaps for tight ends last week. So
Interesting. Well, yeah, because Freiermuth was back. I'm not surprised. Was it
yeah.
Fry? It had to be Freiermuth, right?
Well, I'm just saying that's why it doesn't that's why it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Why is he above him? Yeah, Fryermuth led snaps. He had 53%. Darnell had 47. So
Yep.
why is he projected higher? Why is he above him? It's just bizarre.
Wow. I think we get a gift here, to be honest.
You do
The
100
fact that I get an
100%.
Njoku here is an absolute gift, and I'm not playing games. I know the 2 teams after me have tight end.
Hmm.
I don't know this man. I
I
don't
would
know this man.
love 2 players here, but we'll see what happens.
Like you want both of the people on your mind.
Yep. I'm not
You
even.
want both of them.
I'm not putting him in the queue in case somebody's watching my screen either.
Yeah, your girl's back there. Your girl's
It's
back there.
suspicious. And I didn't get Joe Mixon.
Mixon's one of them.
Yeah.
Connor's probably the other one for you. Although both running backs in the same game. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah. It's probably not great,
Any
man.
news on Pierce today?
Does he even play this week? Yeah. You know what? Screw it. You sold me. I'm gonna take Singletary.
Yeah, I just looked up Damian Pierce. I don't see anything today. If anyone knows about
Even if he does play, I mean, Singletary is been pretty good. He looks great. I mean, would they want to stray away from that? I mean, he's putting up like Zach Moss numbers.
Mhm. 2 teams after me need a QB. 2 teams after me need a QB. Does anyone draft Derek Carr?
No, he's been pretty much free.
Cooper Kupp, so Crash Rich is going Staffy. I feel like I just get my game stack here. It's between Connor or London. Let's go Connor. Let's go James Conner last second. I don't need
Yeah.
a game stack this. It's going to be low scoring anyways.
And I mean, at least for James Conner, you're looking at 16 carries and 14 carries his past 2 games. He's
Right,
obviously getting
right.
volume. So
I think he has a higher ceiling than Drake London too. Like Drake London, we've sort of seen his ceiling sits around like 15, 16 points. He's not a bad option at receiver. Like in this range, he's really not. I think that one's actually pretty close. Those are like the last 2 that I feel good about as a flex this week. George Pickens, I guess, against Cincy. He's definitely in play, man. He's definitely in play.
yeah. I mean, these
Cooper's in
Pittsburgh
play.
receivers are not. They haven't been very ideal for fantasy, but this should be the matchup where they can get going again because we're gonna imagine that the Bengals
Yeah.
are gonna be giving the ball off to them.
Yep.
Um, I don't
Jonathan
know.
Johnson bounce back game too. Very possible. So there are a couple pieces down here that that
Yeah,
I
they're
sort of
sneaky.
do like.
They're very
Yeah,
sneaky.
definitely. Little sneaky snake. Little sneaky snake. Will you have any Rondell Moore with your Kyler?
I think you could. I think you could play him.
But again, yeah, that's probably like you don't draft early in the week, Rondell Moore, because we need to know more about Michael Thomas and his practice. But like later in the week, I could see that being a play like on Friday or Saturday if he hasn't practiced 3 days in a row. How about Lockett playing after all DNPs last week?
Yeah, that was just so strange.
I'm checking his snaps now.
And then I don't know what do you think about the Seattle team now that Geno's probably not going to be playing? You got Drew Lock, I think, going to be under center for them.
Okay, so Lockett played 55%. Boba was out there more. You didn't really see an increase from JSN, which is interesting. And DK, who's also sort of banged up a little bit going into that game, played 71%. Eskridge out of nowhere. I think they're gonna try to get him to play. He wants to play. It's
Okay.
it's Thanksgiving, right? It's a Thanksgiving game, so
Yep.
shit. Like he's gonna want to play. Kenneth Walker's likely out.
Yeah. So I'm asking because the turkey is, I think, like their biggest
Yeah,
contest this week. It's
yeah.
45K entries, 20K to first.
It's a battle
Seattle is
royale.
it's a battle royale for sure, but on a very small slate of teams, and
Mm-hmm.
Seattle's a big part of it, right? So I've seen drafts where Lockett.
Definitely.
I saw one draft where Lockett went undrafted. So just like so disrespectful.
I get it. And I think that's okay. Only playing 55% of snaps, I would probably
You
I'd probably
prefer
put
like
JSN
you
in
prefer
front of
all
him.
the Green Bay pieces like Romeo Dobbs, Jaden Reed,
Yes.
Watson.
Yes.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. And those players were free at the start of that contest because the
Oh,
Seattle pieces
100%.
were in front.
Yeah,
Now you see
100%.
Reed go in like the second to last round instead of last round?
Yeah, second to last round is where
Yeah.
he's going. All those Green Bay pieces, pretty much.
Oh, I didn't even check if Carr got drafted. He didn't. So we're good here. Tie this one in a bow and send it off.
Yeah, my team is going to be
I like this one.
ugly.
My team's going to be ugly, he says. Ugly wins. Ugly wins. Josh Allen for Charles. Michael Pittman Jr., Nico, which I think is interesting, skips over Dalton Kincaid. I would probably do this around 40% of the time just to leverage those Josh Allen, chalky Kincaid stacks. I sort
Yeah,
of like that. Stevenson, Drake London, and Juwan Johnson. Interesting. Juwan Johnson's probably in play. Oh, yeah. Especially like this is what you're looking at. Like
yeah.
everyone,
What if I
just
just
Henry.
draft? What if I just draft JMO instead?
Hold up on your last draft though. Don't instant click because I'm gonna go over these teams. King of Kings, Mahomes, Smith, Don Kincaid, Rashid Rice, Rashid Shaheed. Yeah, so he takes a play out of the playbook. Kareem Hunt, beautiful. ER7, Travis Etienne, T Law, Rashad White, D Hop, Zay Jones, who I definitely think's in play.
All right, Pat. I'm in between two
And then
quarterbacks
Michael
here.
Mayer. You don't have a
I'm,
QB yet, bro?
yeah, I'm the last one with a quarterback. So I'm between Tommy DeVito and Kenny Pickett.
Uh Probably DeVito.
I think it is. I think it's DeVito.
Yeah.
I think this
Yeah.
is Tommy DeVito season. Let's go.
If not now, then when? If not now, then when? At least there's enough options there that he can spread it out. It's
Yeah, I'm a little
interesting that
worried
you
because
have double.
Slayton was ruled out.
So, question:
Yeah.
when Christian Kirk comes back to you at the fourth,
Yeah.
what's the reason for going Kirk Ridley?
I mean, yeah, not having T Law sucks. But again, with the receivers on the board, I just like Jacksonville guys. I don't know why. It's like a bias. But the script could work. I mean, what if Singletary and the Texans get on them, and then Texans are just running the ball, and Jacksonville is just throwing all game, and he spreads it out enough to Kirk and Ridley here, where
So they can they have to hit this fine medium of like 18 points each, and
it's
then
tough.
Trevor Lawrence has to get like under 28 and DeVito has to get like 24 or 20,
Well, I
it's
don't know. I mean, if Lawrence pops off even for 30 points, this guy with
Mhm.
Lawrence has no Jacksonville pieces. So his team takes a
He's got
huge hit.
Zay. He's got
Okay.
Zay.
So if it's not Zay, it's Kirk or Ridley. His
Mhm.
team's doomed because Zay Jones is irrelevant in this picture. He's not going to get points from that receiver.
You don't like
And
Zay Jones?
no, I do. I'm just saying in this
Okay.
scenario,
Yeah, I
right?
copy. I copy. Yep. Yep.
Uh, his team's doomed if Zay Jones is not the right wide receiver, and I have both of them. DeVito just needs to put up like 18 plus points, I think, to make up the difference if Ridley and Kirk
Mhm.
are both viable.
Yeah. Yeah. You're probably looking like, let's take a peek at what
If
one,
if
right?
if,
I
if
don't
a
even
team is able to draft, the only way my team gets beat is probably if a team's able to draft Kelsey, Ridley, T Law in a room, and they get Kirk as well
Yep.
on the way back. But then their running backs are going to be different than mine.
We've seen these lineups where like you don't need to have the optimal QB. Like Josh Allen gets there in second place, 23.5, when T-Law outscores him by 7 points. The common denominators, not even Kittle. Like he
Yeah,
has Dalton Kincaid. So he gets there on this Kincaid Josh Allen stack, but he has two optimal receivers. He has the optimal running back with Barkley.
yeah.
So you miss in these two places, but then he's super optimal right down the line here. I don't think Singletary was the next high scoring, but
No. I
still
mean,
is very
even if one of these receiver pops off for 20
yeah.
plus and the other receiver gets like 12 points, I think depending on the other pieces you have, it could work.
Sure. For sure. And you don't need to be you don't need to be super optimal. Like people are getting there with 7 points or like 17 points as a flex. Here we have a 14-point flex, so like this could be Christian Kirk this week.
Yeah.
Um yeah, so
And believe me, I
it
won't
is
be taking
interesting.
another dog ball with Ridley and Kirk on it. This will be a one
Copy.
off. Um,
Copy.
you know what I mean?
That's
I'm not looking to target Ridley and Kirk like, more than once. Like I'm good with just having one lineup of it.
mhm. You wanna jump into the turkey?
You want to do a turkey instead of a dog bowl?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's jump into a little turk here.
There's two spots.
Oh, 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 oh.
Should be good. There's one.
You gotta be quick though. The people on stream got fast fingers, fast
Yeah.
fingers.
Now this slate's kind of interesting. I mean, I think the top three are pretty obvious: CMC, Lamb, and St. Brown.
Yeah, definitely is. It definitely is. Vito putting up 7 points, homie. Ah. Troll. You gotta troll him.
I mean, all those quarterbacks are projected like 7 points. I don't, you know, that's the problem with getting your quarterback last, I guess.
That's fair. And that's why Taysom Hill has an ADP.
I think. Do you think St. Brown and Lamb can kind of be interchanged, or is it
Ah, man, I
CMC and
like
Lamb?
this. It it depends on your exposures. Like if you are heavy on first two picks and you want
Yeah,
St. Brown exposure, I think that's completely fine because it can be a St. Brown day any day of the week over Lamb. But I think consistency wise, it's gotta be Lamb.
yeah, okay. I'm on the
Huge
same
drop
page.
off after CMC though here on this slate. Huge
What do
drop off.
you What do you think about Gibbs and Montgomery?
Uh, it's tough, dude. Like, do you like this usage of 8 attempts and 6 catches? Like, I don't.
Was
And I
Montgomery even
think,
that much better? I mean,
well,
he got
Dima,
double digits.
it's his first game back though, too. It's his first game back, and he gets 14 touches. So they are splitting. Let me see this wide receiver slate. I'm cool with that. Tight end, definitely have to think about tight end.
Wait, wasn't it his second game back for Montgomery?
No, this is first, I thought.
No, I thought he played against the Chargers.
Was that
That was his second game.
okay?
So
Yeah,
this is
so
technically his third game.
that's right. Yeah, so I
So,
mean, let me pull up this because I'm curious. Detroit.
so this is tough for me because when I have David Montgomery and Ayuk, I'm kind of split.
Hmm.
What do you think?
When you have David Montgomery and what?
And Brandon Ayuk on the board.
And Brendan Ayuk.
Yeah.
It it really depends. It really depends. Like I like Ayuk this week. I think getting a San Fran piece is probably important on this slate.
Right.
Purdy's gone, which is interesting. With CMC, I think that's fine. Um, for me, it's got to be DK here. It's got to be DK, and then probably Goff.
You said DK because you have Debo on your screen.
Oh yeah, no Debo. It's sorry, no, it's for me. It's Debo, and this is
Got
like the narrative that he gets a rushing touchdown.
Got it. I think all the San Fran piece should be heavily focused for a slate like this.
For me, it's probably Goff here, especially if I
No, you should. You should. Oh no, you can go
or I
Goff.
could go Dylan
Hmm.
Robinson. Like these are definitely pieces that are in play. Sharps, he's in play too.
Yep.
Ooh, mm, mm, mm. Let's go Terry. Let's
Yeah,
go
it's a good.
Terry.
It's a good pick.
Because now I do have the option of going Goff or Howell. I like
I know this
Robinson
guy.
more.
I know this guy has two running backs, but Robinson's going to be my next pick anyway, and I don't think I need one of the pieces he's going to take.
Yeah, you get a mini stack, another side of the ball.
Yeah.
Gibson. Any news on Gibson today? He was limited, so he's already trending upward.
And yeah, let's go with Jaden Reed for this one.
Okay, so now I can go running back because this guy has a QB.
Yeah, I gifted you. You're welcome.
Gift. We don't take gifts. We don't accept gifts. Dylan or Sharps, like honestly, it just depends who gets in the end zone. Probably go Sharps here against San Fran.
I think he's got a little bit easier of a running back schedule in terms of this game.
They use him, bro. Like if Walker's out, which we assume he's going to be out, they're talking about like IR or not. So like he's definitely
Yeah,
gonna miss 1-2 weeks
yeah, 100%.
minimum.
Yep.
And he plays that role now where he's gonna be the man, and they don't mind checking down the ball too. So it could just be an absolute blowout, San Fran versus Seattle, and he could still get like just shit points. Check down. Sam Howell's been like such a great fantasy football quarterback this year.
Mm-hmm.
Really has. You want to jump into another?
Yeah, let me hold on 1 sec before you enter.
All right.
Let me get ready. All right.
Oh, I forward.
If you go into another one, there's 2 spots.
Uh-oh.
If you get there in time, 2 spots. Wow. Right on the money.
Did I?
Yep.
Let's go. Deserved. Absolutely deserved for showing elite athleticism and speed with that click. Drop the like on the live stream. You don't see skills like this every day. That is 100% a fact. Paulie, welcome to the live stream. How's been great. Yeah, the Dallas D is definitely why he goes fourth, but Green Bay's, it's not like they have a terrible secondary. So between Goff and Howell, I do think it is a toss up. And Love might just be that. Love's definitely in play too. Like, Love is definitely in play as the least drafted QB of
Yeah.
the
So
5. Like,
I didn't take
it's a
Howell with
coin
that one
flip.
because I didn't have any correlation with him. I think in a slate like this, if you're taking a quarterback, you should try and at
Mhm,
least have one piece with that player. I didn't have any Washington outside Brian Robinson, and I
mhm.
know he catches some. Obviously, he's catching some balls, but I want a receiver or like Logan Thomas if I'm going
Yeah,
Howell. If I have Jaden Reed, I want
yeah,
to take like Jordan Love.
yeah. Oh, on the clock here. Again, clear. AS
I mean, this is
Monra.
how the first three picks should go. It's going to be interesting as this draft goes on and people want to just like say fuck ADP and I want to be different. Like if we're
Hmm,
going to see a lot of like Amon Ra and Lamb stacks, if we're going to even see a CMC Lamb Amon Ra stack.
mhm. I'm trying to push Kittle in this one. Like, Kittle is such if you can get 3rd round Kittle,
Yeah.
3rd round Kittle is the way to go. I went 2nd round Kittle just because I knew you you and probably the other guy in there. Um,
Yep.
it's just he's not gonna fall, and he is just sort of light years ahead, in my opinion.
Yeah. For the tight ends.
Yeah, ceiling wise. Yeah, Kittle goes here. This guy's probably ghosting me in the live stream. He's the type that doesn't log into his YouTube account, doesn't subscribe, doesn't like. Um, oh
Yeah.
shit.
I definitely think you should be going Kittle and instead of Debo, which sets you up for like a juicy 1-2 here.
Yeah.
I think I would
Got
have even
Kittle.
maybe done David Montgomery instead of Purdy.
Yeah, and that's fine. But I do think
But
those RBs could be,
thank you very much.
yeah, right back at you, my friend. This guy
Oh
goes
my
Brian
god.
Robinson in
Oh
front,
my
so
god.
you don't
And
have to think of me.
I screwed up because I should have went Laporta because this guy has two RBs. Whatever. I don't even care.
Oh my god, what is this, bro? The light show.
Bro, the guy next to me has two running backs. I get so happy that David Montgomery comes back, I automatically click him. I hate when I do that. It's so dumb.
I'm going Terry here, hoping that Fergie comes back to me. We'll see if that's
Oh my
true.
god. And he still gives me Laporta. What is going on with this room?
No way.
I just did everything wrong as a drafter who should know how drafts work. Two running
And
back limits.
and I have no
I do
receivers
the
in this.
exact reverse and it works. Like so stupid.
I do need to go Tyler Lockett there. Um, for RBs, I guess I could play this one on the ground too.
By the way, can I tell you a disgusting draft I have for one of these?
Oh, I don't even want to know. You're gonna make me not want to jump into any more of them.
Yeah, let me just peep it real quick.
Let me peep it. He says here. Ferg doesn't come back to us. Is there a reason we have to draft tight end next? No, there's not. We need an RB. RB. Seattle bring back for this San Fran game. Sounds
All right.
good. And I think it's Reed here.
I think so. I like Reed over these Green Bay pieces because of how they utilized him last week. And I mean, if he gets another rushing touchdown,
And I did bring in the Seattle bring back. For me, it's going to be Sharps. And then is there a scroll down piece that we're just I don't want to double stack it though. So it's probably got to be one of these. Last pick over here at tight end. It's probably just Logan Thomas, right? No, I don't have a Green Bay piece. I'm cool with actually going Musgrave. I'm cool with going Musgrave. Get a Green Bay piece.
now Aaron Jones is a did not practice Monday. Is he in question for this game?
I don't think he's playing, bro. Did you see the look on his face when he was walking off the field?
Yeah, he had like a towel over his head, right?
Dude, it was like I don't think he plays in this game. I'm not drafting any K-Walk. I'm not drafting any Aaron Jones
Right,
because
right.
unless this situation where I can't draft a running back, does this guy is there 2 running backs left available? You know what I mean? If you go Aaron Jones, could you pick swap for Dylan? And we won't know, but
Right.
this
I
guy would
see
have
what
to
you're
go wide
saying.
receiver. You know what I mean? Then
Yeah.
it's 0 risk for
So
going
if you're
Aaron
the
Jones.
last overall pick and Jones and Dillon are both available, why not just take
Yeah,
Jones and then swap them?
exactly. So
So the
Washington piece
team,
or
get
yeah, it's
this.
gotta be Dotson.
Here it is, Pat. So I drafted from the 101. My first pick was CMC, and my next two picks were Ayuk and Kittle,
Okay.
followed up by Laporta and Purdy,
Oh, sick. So double tight
and
end.
uh,
Double
and
elite tight end.
Lockett was my last overall. Why
Oh.
not?
Oh.
I
Imagine
mean, why
though
not?
if Gino does end up playing, he's gonna do everything in his power to play this game. It's a
He's the last
Thanksgiving
overall
game.
pick. I
It's
mean, if I
right.
get it, if it's wrong, it's wrong. But if Lockett's on the board and he's the last pick, I mean,
He's still gonna be on the field, right? He's still
yeah,
gonna be on the field. We saw
yeah.
Mike Evans get in the end zone last week against San Fran. They're gonna hopefully Gino plays because then the game at least will be watchable.
Right. Yeah.
But all right, guys. First thing, give Nick a follow on the Twitter machine. Link is in the description. Nick, do you have anything to say to the Pounders?
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck this week. Last dog bowl. Hopefully a pounder can come down and hang in Miami with us.
Hell yeah.
That'd be awesome. Good luck to everybody drafting this week.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving. Going to be live again tomorrow. So make sure you join the stream. Hit the bell for notifications. Slap the like on the way out. All the good things. Appreciate you guys. Have a good night. Pounders.